Hi guys, TinaGale here, and welcome back to Video a Day. Today is Throwback Thursday, so the group of women that I'm working with on YouTube doing the Video a Day, we decided it would be fun to go back to our first layout and our first album. I don't scrap chronologically, so I don't have like one specific album that's all of my first layouts, but I have something fairly close because it was the first project that I worked on. And I do have the very first layouts that I did. And I have said before that I never got into Creative Memories, but you'll notice that they look like Creative Memories style, and further back you'll see even more. And I'll tell you a little bit about my process getting into scrapbooking. When scrapbooking just exploded onto the scene, I owned a decorative painting store. So I taught acrylic painting, folk art painting, oil painting, things like that. Sold supplies, had classes, things like that. So when my supplier started contacting me about stocking scrapbook supplies and maybe going that direction, I just laughed. I thought, who in their right mind would spend that kind of money to put a photo on a piece of paper? I told them flat out no. Not happening. It was not my thing, not my market. I didn't see it as a long-term thing that I wanted to be involved in. Let's see, that was in about 1994-ish, somewhere around in there. Yeah, talk about times a changing. So now I spend a fortune to put pretty paper and product together with my photos. But about that time, actually a few years later after that, I had went to a trade show and they had all kinds of suppliers there and you could sit down and play with their products. So this was the very first scrapbook layout that I did. They gave us this pre-printed background, some frames, and we were supposed to cut our photos and put them on. So I did get the date on here and a little bit of journaling and my photos, and so this really was my very first layout. I would really like to take it apart and redo these photos, but I won't because it was my first layout. Now, several months, maybe even a year or so passed, and I had a friend that did Creative Memories, and this kind of always stuck in my mind, and I enjoyed it. But I was still struggling with that, you know, buying more products. I already had a very expensive hobby, so to get into buying product to put photos on pages and all that, just it really took me a while to get into it. But she kind of played along with me for a while, and so I did a couple of other pages, so you can tell this very much has her Creative Memories influence. She had been a demonstrator and stuff. And so I did this fun little page here of my son and my nephew that had birthdays really close together, and we had went out to Colorado to visit them. And so these were just some snapshots. So yeah, I did that on my own. Can I tell you I like this one better? Then a few years later, I thought, oh, well, maybe not a few years, but within a year or so, I thought I'll try it again. So I did this. Again, it looks very Creative Memories. Check out these deco scissors. Each one of them's different. Yeah, hate it. So glad that I have duplicates of these photos that I can redo them, so I'm not going to take these pages apart. It's just going to be part of my history, but yeah, not going in an album. And then probably within a year, I kept researching, kept looking online, started seeing other people's work. I think that's probably about the time I found 2 peas in a bucket. And so I tried again. So this is on, again, colored just cardstock paper. And you notice it's the 8.5 by 11 because I wasn't going to go shopping. I wasn't going to go invest in a whole other new hobby. Still had those decorative edge scissors. Oh, look at the dust on that. Gross. Decorative edge scissors and cutting the shapes. And this was when I was homeschooling my kids, and we had done this little experiment with Galileo and taken these photos. So again, I got my little journaling kind of in there. So all of this was in early 2000. Once I did those, my kids loved these pages. So I started getting more serious. I started looking at more examples and decided, okay, I'm in. About that time we had went to Disneyland. This was the first time we'd ever went to Disney. I developed my photos before I ever got back home, brought home thousands of photos, made a list of the things that we did on each, well, we only spent one day at Disneyland, and then we spent a day at SeaWorld and all of that. So I had in order what we had done, made some notes, titles, just totally organized. I was going to get this album done, even did some journaling. So I thought it'd be fun to show you a little flip through, because you could even see how I was progressing and learning. I pretty much did all of these pages in order till you get to the end, and I started getting more frustrated because it wasn't as pretty, it wasn't as polished as what I thought. But I'm proud of it. My kids love this. So I actually used these little pockets and put in our actual ticket for the day. Look at that, $43 to get into Disneyland. The entrance, I had some little Disney stickers. So again, I wasn't investing a whole lot of money, but I did go buy some Disney stickers. This is all cardstock, little punch, really not, oh, that's just letter stickers on top of there, yeah. So, yeah, still not spending a whole lot of money. Adding a little bit, still looks like Creative Memories in a way. Then I started going to like Joann's and got some of these little Brad type letters and things like that. Look at these eyelets, even printing on vellum. I am getting there. This, I went and bought a little Sizzix die cutter and an alphabet die set, so I could do that. Some little rub-ons. So yeah, I'm really rocking it now. I'm a full-fledged scrapbooker. And then here I mixed some of those Brad letters along with some charm letters and rub-on letters. Again, printing out my journaling, because at this point I would not write on a page. Hated my handwriting, was not going to do it. Still very clean cut, just mainly cardstock, no patterned paper. Some more Brads, even a little flower and ribbon. Then I found one of those little packages of papers, a little collection that had Disney papers, Disney frames, and stickers and die cuts. So yeah, I'm investing money now. This is the start of it all. So again, just putting my stickers around. So these I'm more happy with. I'm starting to get a little bit of design going, and it's not looking quite Creative Memories, but a little in between. And then, I'm telling you, this probably took me a year to do, so you're seeing me learn as I go. I learned how to paper piece, and I did that forever. I would find coloring sheets and draw them off and cut out all these individual little pieces and added my little rope. So man, I just felt like I was hitting the big time there. Tore my paper. Then we're back to that printed patterned paper and some specialized alphabets with the little animal theme. So I was still thinking, I had to match up the theme to my pictures and all of that. So I still like this page, but yeah, definitely. And then more of that Disney collection. So you see that. Again, printing out all of my journaling. This is when the bottle caps became so popular, so we're smashing bottle caps, and then I used rub-on letters to make my title. Stapling some ribbon on here. Still very simple, but This page is not quite done. I have my journaling that's needed to be printed out, and then I have little eyelets in this, so that was going to go right there. Tore some paper, and then, whoa, looky here, I have stamps. So I got an alphabet stamp set so I could do different kinds of titles. Did that. And then I learned how to print titles on different shapes and cut those out. This page again, I just need to put that journaling in there. This is just printed cardstock sheets that you had to hand cut out. more of the little paper piecings. I don't know if I can see. So I wanted all the little children from It's a Small World, so I found pictures and hand cut all of those. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And then this is when I started getting out of order because I was getting bored. It was not cute. And getting to see more people and what they were doing, then I stepped it up. So this is when I got my Cricut. So I got all of the Disney cartridges as they came out and started doing my titles. So this is the alphabet from the Disney cartridge. So this is when I felt like I was really learning something, but you can tell I'm still printing out all my journaling. So this is kind of going back to the early days before that. Yeah. So all of these, so I guess maybe I just have the one, and I still need to do the end because I couldn't decide how to do that, so I just walked away. So I guess this is one. Yes, I remember now. Tigger is my favorite character of all time, so these were photos that I would not scrap because I still wasn't totally happy with what I was doing, and so this did come much later. I had these photos in here. I knew that they were going to go here, but I hadn't scrapbooked them until much later because I think it was 2005 when the Cricut came out, and I got it first thing. So yeah, this album is about 2 years of growth. So that's probably all the scrapbooking I did in the first couple of years. I have come a long way and gone a lot faster. So I hope you enjoyed this little peek at my past, where I've come from, where I started, kind of how I learned and progressed, and everybody starts somewhere. So I would encourage you, if you're looking at some of the YouTube artists or design teams for manufacturers and things like that, and you're thinking, you know, I'm just not going to scrapbook because I'm not at that level or whatever, I would encourage you, don't do that. Everybody starts somewhere, and you will never get your pages and your memories documented when you're trying to compare yourself to other people. So just get those memories down. Like I said, these are not, you know, they're not even in an album. That's how much that I'm not going to put them on display, but I love them. They tell me about my past, where I came from, remembering how I was so set that I was not going to get into scrapbooking. I thought it was the craziest thing I'd ever heard of. And look at me now. So I am so proud of my journey, and I hope that you will get started and you'll be proud of your journey as well. I would love to see some of your earlier pages. If you want to post them on my Facebook page or in one of the groups, I belong to, like Victoria Marie, or just post them to your own Facebook page and tag me, then I would love to see. So I hope you enjoyed this look back. I will be back tomorrow with another video a day. Be sure to check out Heather's Crafty Life and all the other ladies that are joining me in this crazy adventure in July. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.